Hi, I'm Matt with Dirt Road Cred, and in today's Distinction Applied video, we're going to show you how to remove and reinstall the front camera and windshield wiper fluid on your 2024 and newer style grill. Let's show you how to get it done. The first step of this is to, of course, remove the factory grill. Whether this be a 2018 and newer style or a 2024 style, go ahead and unclasp the front hood latches. And then on this side, you just got to push it towards the driver's side. There's a little release, and we'll put our prop rod down. Now, to get the grill removed from the Jeep, the first thing we'll want to do is remove the 6 push pins up top that are actually holding this onto this radiator support. So we're going to go ahead and grab a trim removal tool or a small flathead screwdriver and go ahead and remove these push pins, set them aside as you will be reinstalling them later. These push pins can be removed by using a small trim panel removal tool by pulling the center section up about that far, and then you'll get the bottom section and pull up the entire unit as an assembly. When you go to reinstall them, you'll push this in and then push the center section down. Repeat this process 5 other times. There are 6 total push pins. And if you have a 392 or some other trims, they do cover this one up a little bit with this insulation piece. So just make sure you get all these removed before removing the grill. Now that all 6 of the push pins are removed from the top portion of this, you can see we have some play. So it almost looks like we're ready to pull the grill off. However, there are some other of the metal style clips that go on around various portions of this. The way I found to pull this off the easiest is to kind of start from one side and just give it a nice even amount of force. You'll hear them kind of click off. Go over to the other side and do the same. Just very even amounts of force will pull these off. To give us a little bit more clearance, there is one push pin holding on to the wire that goes to our front camera. Go ahead and we'll undo that. We will be reinstalling it later. To remove the windshield washer reservoir, the fluid tube here, just push down on the stainless portion and that will just simply pull right out. That's what the top piece looks like. You just push that down, and when you're ready to reinstall it, you literally just push it until it clicks up again. So very easy to remove that. So to remove the camera, there is a tab right here in the middle of these 2 other bars. It does help. Sometimes you can do it with your finger or a small flathead. Push that down, and while pushing it down, this will remove. Now, Ryan, here's a little bit of a closer shot of where that tab is. It's actually right here in the center. So that's what you're going to be pushing down. And as you can see, sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to push it down with a flathead like so. But once you've got both of those connections removed, you can now pull the grill off and we can do some work on the table. So we're going to be working in the center here. This is where everything runs to and goes into. You got your front camera and you have your washer fluid elbow right here. Now what we want to do is be able to remove this and then show you how to kind of reinstall everything. So you're going to grab a 7/32 and remove these 2 screws on the outer edge. Now what's nice is from the 2018 to 2023, they are the same camera. It's just a little bit different in the way they mount. But in our case, we're going to be utilizing a 7/32 to remove the bracket that covers up the camera. Take that one out. Take this one out here. And we're always remembering which way the camera was oriented to, so that way we don't put all this back together and have an upside down screen. So we can remove this. Set that aside as well. And now you can see the camera, the way that it's oriented is the plug is to this side. So it's going to be to this side, and you can remove that. So that's what your factory camera will look like. And then when you're ready to put it back in, that's the same way. Now there looks like there is only one way for this to go in because there's little slots here. I'm not sure if it's like that with every camera, but that's how it is in our case. We're going to set that aside as well. And then you do want to pop this off too. So in order to do so, this is actually just held in just by some force here. There are clips on this side and this side. So kind of both in like this. If you push down on the one and give it a little bit of force, not too much, just like that, you can push that through. The other thing to note, see how it's not going through? You can pull this rubber piece off. So see that? That's what we've got left, Ryan. So those are those 2 tabs on the side, and then this will go back on once it gets reinstalled. But that's all you got to do is depress on both of those, and now we are left right here with an empty housing. So down below is where your sprayer goes, and then up top is where your camera goes. On 2018 to 2023 models, if I'm not mistaken, the wiring for both of these, or at least the camera, runs somewhere over here, up along the edge, and then comes over to it. If you do want to disassemble your grill a little bit, you can, but just make sure you fasten all the wires nice and tight out of the way. But in reality, that's all you've got to do. So now, why don't we show you the reinstallation process. Say you've got a new grill like this and you're about to swap everything over. Here's how to put it all back in. So we're going to start with first the washer fluid nozzle. You can see there's a little tiny hole here. That's where it sprays out. And then if we look on the back side, there's actually a little notch here. So it kind of shows you how it should align. You're going to push this from the front of the grill with that little notch right there. And that's all it's going to do to clip in. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and grab your elbow and push this right onto there. It doesn't have to be a crazy tight connection. It seals on there very good. And then that's all you need to do for the washer nozzle. Now the camera, what you need to do with that is orient it just like I said. Put this over towards this side of the grill, and that's the way it drops right in. And it's going to hold itself into place. There's a couple slots. Grab the Mopar bracket with the Mopar logo facing the same way as all the other Mopar logos. So see how this one is legible to you to read this way? And there's one right here that says Mopar. That's how you know which is down. And also there's only one way for this to really fit. That's going to set just overlapping your camera, and you're going to utilize the factory screws. What this is doing is just retaining that camera in there. So go ahead and make sure you keep pressure on both of those, because you can have it kind of sit like that. You feel that knock down. Grab your 7/32. Tighten these up. Don't go too crazy. It's just a metal screw into some plastic. But you'll want to make sure that your camera is nice and secure in there as well. Nice and snugged up. And now you can see when we move this, there is no movement. The camera is nice and solid. And then what I'm going to do is flip around the grill to show you what it should look like before you install it back on the Jeep. There you can see, Ryan, everything looks good. The camera is sitting there, as well as the washer sprayer hole will spray the camera. So that's how it should look when it's all buttoned up there, making sure everything's snug. This is clipped into place and we have a lot of clearance. Before we install the grill back on the vehicle, there's a couple things to note. Is if you do have these clips that go onto your radiator cross member supports here, make sure these are back on. They just simply click on like that. And then if your wire comes out like this, if you've got a 24 and newer, or if it comes over from here, just make sure it's zip tied nice and tight out of place. It's not near anything heat, not near any pinching, and all of that good stuff. This will also go back into here when we do it. But we're going to go ahead and connect both of these connections while we have the grill loose, and then click it all back into place and reinstall those push pins. Now we can go ahead and grab our grill and set it slightly into place like so. I like to give it a little bit of a hold down here. You are going to have to lean it so you can get some of these connected. We can reconnect our windshield washer fluid connector just by pushing it on and waiting for that metal tab to feel that release going up. And then our camera connector, you will want to push this on. There's only one way. And you want to make sure there's two little grooves, and there's also two little standoffs on here that'll match up. You got to get this a little bit closer and just hear that click, and that's how you know it's connected. Like I said before, make sure that this clip is back on here if applicable for your vehicle. And then also we're going to push this push pin right back in like so. Now when putting your grill back on, it's lining it up top and then going around the sides. There are 1, 2 of those metal ones here, and then 6 or 7 down below. Push them in like so. Making sure everything's nice and tight and in place. And before you close everything up, it's not a bad idea to hop in your Jeep, try the front camera before you button it all up completely. But once it's working and verified to be good to go, reinstall those 6 push pins and your install is complete. Now, depending on the model year, you might have to click something different. However, on our 2024, we can just simply go into the vehicle and hit forward facing camera. In yours, it might be in the app setting, depending on what you connect, but we'll give it a shot. There we go. And then let's do this. And it's spraying, so we're good to go. The connection has been made well. If you have any further questions about how to do any sort of installation onto your vehicle, be sure to click on our website or give us a phone call. Thank you for making your Jeep distinct with distinction applied.